I don't wanna fall in love no more. It's just too much. It's just too much. No, I don't wanna hear a word no more. I'm done, but I just can't let go of you.
Hello everyone, welcome back. My name is Noelle of Elpaf, which is my new name because I have decided to make this channel my all manga channel. If you want to go and support my other channel, it will be basically all things fantasy novels as well as sci-fi and other genres once I finally step out of my comfort zone of fantasy, which I have recently, and I read some romance books, and you can see how that went. Why is this not focusing on my face? Can you focus on my face, please? In honor of this being a manga-only channel now, I hope that I am in focus. Okay, so in honor of this being a manga-only channel, I would like to do my top 10 manga that I am most anticipating reading. So obviously, if they're in my top 10, I have others that I want to read, but these are like my most anticipated, the ones that I want to read the soonest. So I'm going to go from 10 to 1, 1 being the one that I want to read first, 10 being the one that I'm like, all right, I'll read all the other ones first. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get into it. So on number 10 was something that was mentioned in the comments a couple of times of recommendations, which is the manga Kingdom. For my little synopsis that I have for it is: born in the Warring States period of ancient China, Xin and Piao are war orphans working as servants in a poor village in the kingdom of Qin. However, they dream of becoming the great generals of the heavens and train daily. And this sounds very much like that warrior epic sort of fantasy, maybe possibly a bit more realistic-ish than One Piece, of course, but that kind of like classical fantasy feel. I have this at number 10 and below all the other ones just because of the cover art doesn't look necessarily great, and I haven't actually like looked within the manga and seen like what the actual art style is, but I looked at it and I was like, I don't know how I feel about that, but I am excited to read it. Obviously it's on this list, so I have heard a lot of great things about it from you guys, and most of these mangas are recommended from you guys. Number 1 is probably the most recommended from you guys, other than One Piece, obviously, but I'm reading that one already. So if it's not obvious, One Piece is not on the list because I'm currently reading it. So number 9 is Demon Slayer. And for my synopsis, which I got from Manga Dex, I think. Since ancient times, rumors have abounded of man-eating demons lurking in the woods. Because of this, the local townsfolk never venture out at night. Legend has it that a demon slayer also roams the night, hunting down these bloodthirsty demons. Ever since the death of his father, Tanjiro has taken it upon himself to support his mother and 5 siblings. Although their lives may be hardened by tragedy, they found happiness. But that ephemeral warmth is shattered one day when Tanjiro finds his family slaughtered and the lone survivor, his sister Nezuko, turned into a demon. Adding to the sorrow, a demon hunter named Tomioko Gyu arrived and was about to finish Nezuko off, but to his surprise, she and Tanjiro started to protect each other. Seeing this oddity and Tanjiro's promising fighting skills, Gyu decides to send them to his old mentor to be trained. So begins Tanjiro's life as a demon hunter bound on a quest to cure his sister and find the one who murdered his entire family. I have heard great things about this. One of my best friends has a tattoo of like the last panel from, or like one of the last panels from this manga, and she just absolutely adores it, and I adore her. So I feel like I owe it to her and myself to read this. I did start watching it and it was interesting, at least. I mean, I have such a hard time watching anime for some reason and I have no idea why. Also, if you can hear like little noises, it's my cats. Noelle D lore. Noelle lore section. I have 4 cats. That's the Noelle lore of the day. But yeah, so I am definitely looking forward to this. Definitely has a lot of fantastical elements. The art style looks really good. And obviously it has been very, very hyped up by a lot of people. And so, of course, I have let the hype die down a bit before I actually get into it. Then number 8 is Solo Leveling, which is actually a Korean manga. So if there's a different word for it, let me know. Also, if you guys have any recommendations that are not on this list, please let me know and tell me what they're about and why I should read it. Because if you've been watching this channel for a little while, then you probably know the kind of things that I like in my books and the kind of things that I don't like. Now my bandana coming undone. Okay, so Solo Leveling, the same friend that loves Demon Slayer also loves Solo Leveling, and she was talking to me about it yesterday, and she just absolutely adores it as well. She's been like nonstop talking about it for the past couple months, so I think that I also need to read it. So, and it's different because, let's see, number 10 is based on the Chinese Warring States period. I think the rest of there's quite a diversity in this. So, and then this one is a Korean manga, and then you'll see the next couple ones that have different people or peoples in it, and I'm very excited about. So 10 years ago, after the gate that connected the real world with the monster world opened, some of the ordinary, everyday people received the power to hunt monsters within the gates. They are known as hunters. However, not all hunters are powerful. My name is Sung Jin Woo, an E-rank hunter. I'm someone who has to risk his life in the loneliest of dungeons, the world's weakest, having no skills whatsoever to display. I barely earned the required money by fighting on low-level dungeons, at least until I found a hidden dungeon within the hardest difficulty within the D-rank dungeons. In the end, as I was accepting death, I suddenly received a strange power, a quest log that only I could see, a secret to leveling up that only I know about. If I trained in accordance with my quest and hunted monsters, my level would rise, changing from the weakest hunter to the strongest S-rank hunter. And if you guys don't know, I am a Spanish student right now, but I eventually would also like to earn a degree in Korean and be able to translate both languages. And I really do want to learn Korean. I think the culture is very interesting. I think there's definitely some really cool aspects to it. Obviously, Korean food is amazing. Korean music is amazing. And yeah, I think I would also like to visit Korea one day. I think that would be super fun. And my friend who has recommended both Demon Slayer and Solo Leveling to me also got me into K-pop. But right now I'm only listening to one band, and that's 17, and I've been watching their variety shows with my husband, and that's really what got us into their music, was their personalities from their variety shows, which was just so funny and so entertaining, and it like replaced all TV for us for a while. But now I am taking a little break and watching Monk with my husband. So, but anyways, I do want to learn Korean, and I think it would be really cool if I read this manga in English, and then eventually once I start picking up Korean, then I read it in its original language. I think that would be super awesome. So that's my number 8. Number 7 is Monster, which has been recommended by you guys a lot. And the synopsis I have is, it's about a Japanese surgeon living in Dusseldorf, Germany, whose life enters turmoil after he gets himself involved with Johann Liebert, one of his former patients who is revealed to be a psychopathic killer. It was mentioned in the comments a good amount of times, and someone said this about Vinland Saga and Monster and said that it's more grounded in... Did I just spoil you guys? Oh my gosh. It's more grounded in realism and impacted the way I live my life and view people in general. And really, that's all I needed to know to want to read it. And I think the synopsis, short, doesn't really tell me very much, and it's intriguing. So I've seen it in the bookstore a lot, and I'm definitely interested. So number 6 is one of my husband's favorites, and that is JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, which is the main reason that I wanted to read it, is because it is one of my husband's favorites, and the design, the character design looks so good. I have seen the art for this many of times, especially like going into the store and seeing JoJo's there, and then also just talking about it with my husband. And I think that the art style is amazing, and the fashion, because I don't know the author's name, I'm sorry. But he is very, very interested in fashion. It's like one of his big things. And he really puts that into his manga. Like you can see it all over. And I think that it's very, very cool and just adds a lot of personality to his work. So for part 1, it's of Jonathan Joestar, a young, wealthy son living in Victorian England, has his life destroyed by a recently orphaned Dio Brando, who was taken in by Jonathan's father, Dio, who plots to drive Jonathan to insanity and inherit the Joestar fortune, becoming an unstoppable vampire that Jonathan must fight. Yeah, and then it also just says, or like a main synopsis, is that it follows the members of the Joestar family as they use their supernatural fighting spirits called stands to defeat a series of increasingly outlandish big bads. And yeah, I don't have much else to say about it. I'm intrigued. I'm definitely looking forward to reading it and collecting it, because I think it would be really nice for my husband and I to have, because it is one of his favorites. All right, number 5, because I am a girl and I know 80% of people who watch my channel are guys, so you guys probably will not be interested in this, but definitely know about it, and that is Sailor Moon. So I had watched a Sailor Moon movie once when I was in 4th grade at my friend's house one time, and I didn't know anything else about Sailor Moon other than that, and even then I knew it was very, very popular. And I don't know, I was a Kaleidostar girly. Kaleidostar was the first anime that I ever watched, and I never read anything Sailor Moon, but one of my other best friends, she absolutely adores Sailor Moon. It is one of her favorites, if not her favorite, so I know that I have to watch it. And I think this is the only shoujo manga on here. I think all the rest are shonen, which I think is so funny. But yeah, so this is Sailor Moon is a Japanese manga series written and illustrated by Naoko Takeuchi, and the series follows the adventures of Usagi Tsukino, a girl who transforms into the titular protagonist and goes on a journey to save the universe from being annihilated. Teenager Usagi is not the best athlete, she's never gotten good grades, and well, she's a bit of a crybaby, but when she meets a talking cat, she begins a journey that will teach her she has a well of great strength just beneath the surface and a heart to inspire and stand up for her friends as Sailor Moon. And yeah, I just feel like a lot of girls love this and grew up on it, and I think that I really want to be a part of that conversation. Number 4 is Vagabond, which is also one of my husband's favorites. And this is growing up in the late 16th century in Sengoku era Japan. See, I love this. We've got England, we've got Germany, we've got Japan. Obviously, we've got other places. Oh, China. Yeah, I'm just feeling like, I don't know, loving how there's a big diversity in the things that I want to read, I feel like, for manga. So, growing up in the late 16th century Sengoku era Japan, Shinmin Takazo is shunned by the local villagers as a devil child due to his wild and violent nature. Running away from home with a fellow boy at age 17, Takazo joins the Toyotomi army to fight the Tokugawa clan at the Battle of Sekigahara. Jeez, there's a lot of Japanese words in here. However, the Tokugawa win with a crushing victory, leading to nearly 300 years of shogunate rule. Takazo and his friend Manage to survive the battle and afterwards swear to do great things with their lives. However, after their paths separate, Takazo becomes a wanted criminal and must change his name and his nature in order to escape an ignoble death. It is a fictionalized account of the life of Musashi Miyamoto, who's a famous samurai, the most famous samurai, I'm guessing. And yeah, I definitely want to read it because it's one of my husband's favorites. But you guys have also mentioned this book, and it is in a lot of people's top 5 or top 10. And some of y'all's comments has been, obviously, that is based off the life of famous samurai Musashi Miyamoto. And then also, if you want to philosophize, about violence, then you should read this. And I thought that was very interesting because it says it a lot when you're looking it up. Number 3 is recommended by my husband, and it is a manga called Real. And this is my only non-fantasy book on here, I think. And it explores wheelchair basketball and the struggles of the main character, Nomiya Tomomi, who wants to play basketball despite being disabled. And if you guys know about me, I am a disabled Marine Corps veteran, and I do have a lot of friends who are also disabled due to different things that they experience in the Marine Corps. And I don't know, I feel like this is just something that I really want to read about and that I feel connected to, because I do have a lot of friends who struggle with probably a lot of the same things that Nomiya Tomomi also struggles with. So he is a high school dropout who wants to devote his life to helping Natsumi, a girl he sentenced to life of immobility after a tragic bike ride he invited her to ride on. He tries to change his life around from a troublemaking delinquent into a reliable man. The problem is both Natsumi and her sister do not seem to care at all for Nomiya, rightfully blaming him for the accident. Plus, the only notable talent Nomiya possesses is a talent for basketball. Everything changes for him when he meets up with Togaya Kiyoharu, a wheelchair basketball player. And yes, it's recommended by my husband. He said he thinks that I will really like it, and it sounds like a really nice character study, and I don't know. I'm very intrigued. So number 2 is Vinland Saga because it's about Vikings, and I recently found out that I'm 29% Scandinavian, which means I'm basically a Viking. So I'm 29% Scandinavian, 28% German. Like, that's my main things. Anyways, that's why my name is also Noel of Elpath. Okay, so this follows the life of a boy / man, I guess, becoming involved with Vikings and a war following his father's death. Now, the full synopsis is, as a child, Thorfinn sat at the feet of a great Leif Erikson and thrilled to wild tales of a land far to the west, but his youthful fantasies were shattered by a mercenary raid. Raised by the Vikings who murdered his family, Thorfinn became a terrifying warrior, forever seeking to kill the band's leader, Askeladd, and avenge his father, sustaining Thorfinn through his ordeals and his pride in his family and his dreams of a fertile westward land, a land without war or slavery. The land Leif called Vinland. So I've had a lot of people mention it in their top 10 or top 5, and someone said just as good as One Piece, very different vibe, but maybe even better than One Piece. All-time favorite manga. More grounded in realism and impacted the way I live my life and view people in general. And this is the same person who also said this about Monster. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like I'm really excited. Seems like epic high fantasy. The art looks really good. I've seen them at Barnes & Noble and almost had my husband buy it for me for my birthday. But instead, I got 3 omnibuses of One Piece. Okay, and number 1... I'm so excited to read this. I might read this along with One Piece. Also, if you hear my cat crying, she really wants to play, and she cries and brings me her toy when she wants to play. So, if any of you guys played online MMORPG games, please let me know, because I used to play this game called Fiesta Online, and the art style of this book reminds me of Fiesta Online, and I feel like that is one of the reasons that it's drawing me to it, because I feel like I'm gonna feel that nostalgia, and plus it's like questy, and maybe there's dungeons as well, and I don't know, I'm just thinking that that's gonna be so cool, and that maybe it's going to bring back those vibes, because that was a game that I played for like 10 years. I think I played it from the age 9 to 19. And yeah, I don't know. I loved that game. My grandpa even played that game with me. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like this is reminding me of that, and I am so excited to read this because so many of you guys recommended this. This was probably one of the most recommended, other than also Berserk, but I will not be reading Berserk because of the graphic essay and other intense, deep, dark scenes that are in that manga. I have seen panels for it, and it's just not for me. So let me know if you guys played Fiesta Online. I played it when it was owned by Outspark, and now it's owned by someone else. Sorry. But the adventure is over, but life goes on for an elf mage just beginning to learn what living is all about. Elf mage Frieren and her courageous fellow adventurers have defeated the Demon King and brought peace to the land. With the great struggle over, they all go their separate ways to live a quiet life. But as an elf, Frieren, nearly immortal, will long outlive the rest of her former party. How will she come to terms with the mortality of her friends? How can she find fulfillment in her own life? And can she learn to understand what life means to the humans around her? Frieren begins a new journey to find the answer. I love the cover art, as I was saying. I just love the way the art looks. So some of the comments from you guys is, it's really nice and chill. Highly I recommend. World similar to Lord of the Rings, elves, dwarves, etc., or D&D with games and mages, warriors, different classes basically. Classic epic fantasy, one of the best fantasy mangas out right now. It will be a great time for you. Best pure fantasy manga. And yeah, come here, Duchess. Come here, girl. So that is my top 10 list of the mangas that I want to read. I am so stoked about reading them. Also, if you guys are wondering, I am still reading One Piece, of course. I am on volume 19 now, and once I get to the halfway mark of the Alabasta arc, then I will be making a video on it, and I would like to do that this week. That is the goal. The goal is this freaking week, because I know it has been forever since I posted on this channel, but I'm really trying to take my time with manga because I really want to soak it all in and enjoy it and appreciate it and not make it feel like a chore or like homework, because basically I am doing a book report on every volume of One Piece that I read because I'm so so here for the conversation around and, you know, revolving around One Piece. And I know that, I don't know, it's just been such a great time to be able to talk to you guys about One Piece, and I really want to be able to take that time to appreciate and enjoy it and not make anything feel like it's rushed or anything like that. And I know that you guys definitely really appreciate that, and many of you have told me to just take my time. So that is exactly what I am doing, though I am partially nervous that the series will definitely end before I get there, and am very scared to get spoiled. But even if I do, I think that the journey would still be worth it. But yeah, anyways, I am so glad that I was able to make this video today. I have not been doing great health-wise, so that's why it's been a little bit long time coming for me to make this video, is because I've been dealing with a lot of chronic fatigue and migraines and stuff, but today I'm feeling really good and I am ignoring my responsibilities of doing my homework. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed. Please let me know what other videos you would like to see from me. Please go over and subscribe to my other channel if you are interested in novels. And yeah, I think that's about it. You guys have a wonderful, blessed day or night, whatever time it is where you guys are. And yeah, I appreciate you guys. God bless.
Just